Okay, we'll start. Let the other people come and join. Good evening, everyone. How are you? Hello.
Yeah, good, Bala.
Good evening. Fine.
Hi, good evening, Bala.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, boss. Okay. We'll start the classes. Okay. So how many chapters we have in the project management body of knowledge, the 6th edition? I send you 4 materials. One was a project management body of knowledge, 6th edition. The other one is project management body of knowledge, 7th edition. The other one is Agile practice standard. The 4th one was which will be having 5 chapters. That will be PMI authorized exam prep 2020 release. So that is a combo of summary combo of that adaptive and predictive methods. So we have 5 chapters in that. So that material is not available in the local library or PMI library. So you can see that material was given by PMI to me to pass my train the trainer exams. So if you're going to just to see the content outline, I hope that you got the content outline also, right? Along with the materials, you got the content outline, examination content outline. Please come forward and give me the answer, please. So you got the content outline, right? Hello, I'm connected with you guys.
You meant to say in the material which Mani has provided in that?
Yeah, Mr. Mani has forwarded to you. You can see there is an exam content outline.
Yeah.
So,
PMP exam content outline, ECO 7th edition.
Yeah, ECO. That is the exam content outline, ECO. You can see that material you can align with that 4th material which I given to you. That material is for me. I just circulated to you people also. So that is a combo of that is a combination of that predictive methods and the adaptive methods. It will be having 5 chapters. So 2 chapter is going to focus on the people domain. 2 chapter will be focusing on the process domain, and 1 chapter will be focusing on business environment. So if I want to conduct my training based on the latest informations, I need to pass that exam called Train the Trainer. It's a rigorous examination. They're going to test my agile knowledge. So I passed that examination. That's the 2 examination I need to pass. I passed that examination. That book is given to me by PMI. So you can't see that material with anyone in any library or any bookstores. You can see only the trainer person who has passed this examination will be having that material. So that material also is given to you. So you can go through that material also. So how many chapters? I said very clearly, the PMBOK 7th edition, you can use as a standard reference. Once the client is recommending or requesting you to go with a standard, follow a standard, you will be going with the US standard. So we have a standard called the Project Management Body of Knowledge. We have a US standard and we have a British standard. So if the client is asking you to use the British standard, you will go with the Prince2. The client is asking you to go with the US standard, American standard, you'll go with the Project Management Body of Knowledge. So the 7th edition you can use as a standard reference or standard guideline for you to operate your project. But to pass your examination successfully, I recommend you to go with the PMBOK 6th edition, because still the PMI headquarters never ruled out to not to use the PMBOK 6th edition. Still you need to use the PMBOK 6th edition. Nearly 90 questions you are targeted from the PMBOK 6th edition, because you can see the PMBOK 6th edition was heavy process oriented book. You can see the complete process. What all the process, 49 process grouped under 10 knowledge areas and 5 process group is given there in detail. You can see the complete information about the process, which will be having its own tools and techniques, and what will be the input you need to feed into each and every process, and what will be the output you're going to get. Detailed information about each and every process. So 50% of your examination is supported with the process-oriented approach, and 50% will be based on the adaptive-oriented approach. So Agile Practice Standard will be supporting that, and the 50% of the exam supported will be given by the Project Management Body of Knowledge 6th edition. So the Project Management Body of Knowledge 6th edition will be having 13 chapters. So I'm going to divide the 13 chapter into 2 category. The first 3 chapter is called as a basic, which will be the common basic chapters for both the adaptive methods and the predictive methods. And we'll be having the remaining 10 chapters will be a process oriented. So now what is the difference between, you can use the same process in your adaptive methods, but what happened there, what all the documents or what all the plans you are able to develop in each and every process. So in the predictive methodology, the documents and the management plan will be more enormous. You are bringing more elaborated informations. But in the case of the adaptive project, they'll be using the same process to create a document. But the document will not get this kind of rigorous information. It will be having only the summary level of information, because you know very well it's going to be a change-driven methodology. You need to expect the changes. If you're going to write everything in detail, and you need to accommodate very major changes. Minor changes will be accepted, moderate changes will be accepted, major changes will be accepted. But in the case of predictive project, you need to know very clearly, you are defining everything in upfront. And that's the reason the documentations will be having the complete level of elaborated informations, and you will not accept any kind of major changes. Only minor changes will be accepted in the predictive methodology. And how we are able to do the predictive methodology, you are breaking the project, if it is so complex in nature, into different phases. But in the case of adaptive project, you are breaking your project into multiple iterations. Is it clear or not, guys? Is it clear or not? Is it clear?
Yes.
In the predictive methodology, you will be working for the requirements which you're going to gather from the customer. You are able to bring that requirements as the deliverables. In the case of adaptive methods, you are able to do something. You are able to focus on the features. So number of features has to go into the product line, and each and every features will be a subset of your product line. So that will be characterizing your product. The features and function will be characterizing your product. So you're able to break the project into multiple features. Here you are able to break the project into multiple requirements. Your predictive methods will be applicable for the heavyweight projects, and the adaptive project is applicable for the lightweight projects. All your IT projects, all your banking sectors, financial sectors, telecommunication projects will be coming under the adaptive, which will be light in nature, light environment projects. And the heavyweight environments project will be heavy engineering, constructions, right? And any kind of engineering, construction, laying an oil pipeline, gas, building and spaceships, launching a rocket to the space. So this is all the heavyweight projects. So that will be determining you to just go with the proven method, not the test and trial. Here, in the case of the predictive project also, if you want to just use the adaptive methodology, some place you need to do some explorations. So that kind of exploration makes you to just run the adaptive methods. So fusing the adaptive methods with the predictive method, you will get something called hybrid. So all your future projects will be hybrid in nature, like your electronic devices will be hybrid in nature. Your TV is a hybrid in nature. Your car will be a hybrid in nature. So your project also in future will be hybrid in nature. So you'll be mixing the iterations with the phase. And iteration will be having its own life cycle, and phase will be having the predictive life cycle. So fusing these two methods will be your hybrid. So far, so clear, right? So far, so clear, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And apart from this, you need to know very clearly that we have 10 domain areas, which is common domain areas for both the adaptive methods and for the predictive methods. Adaptive methods, you don't have a designation called project manager. You will be called with the 3 kind of designation. All are same. You will be called as a scrum master, or you'll be called as a team leader, or you'll be called as an agile coach. In the case of predictive methods, you know very well that you will be called as a project manager. Everyone has to report to you. In the case of adaptive projects, there is no one who is going to report to the scrum master. There is no reporting relations. So the scrum master role has to give the feasible environment for the team members who's going to work for the features, who's going to develop a product. So he has to give the feasible environment. So he's not asking the person to send the informations. He's not asking the people to report the project and then there, like what you do in your predictive projects. In the case of leadership style, if you're working as a project manager in the predictive approach or predictive methodology, you know very well that you need to be more autocratic. But in the case of adaptive, once you are switching over from the predictive to the adaptive, you don't require to have the autocratic, you should be a servant leader. So that is the difference. And one more difference between the predictive approach and the adaptive approach. Adaptive approach will use the stakeholder or the customer involvement throughout the life cycle of the project. The stakeholder or the customer involvement will be throughout the life cycle. But in the case of a predictive project, the stakeholder involvement only will be, you can see only in the predefined points. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Is it clear? And the predictive methods will be having its own meetings, and the adaptive methods will be having its own meetings. Can anyone say what will be the meetings will be performed in the predictive methods? Sorry, adaptive methods. What will be the meetings will be performed in the adaptive methods? You are able to adapt some changes based on the change which you're going to adapt. That only pushes your project. That will be helping you to drive your projects. So what will be the first meeting you're going to perform? Anyone, please come forward.
Sprint backlog.
No. That is a document. I'm asking you what are the meetings you're going to conduct? See, in the predictive methods, you're able to predict your outcomes. It's very predefined, right, Nitin?
Yeah.
So you'll be conducting various meetings, like you'll be conducting the strategic meetings. You'll be conducting the kickoff meetings. You'll be conducting the status review meetings. You'll be conducting the progress review meetings. You'll be conducting the risk workshop review meetings. You'll be conducting the team building meetings. You'll be conducting the lessons learned meetings, right? So what meeting will be very frequently occurring within each and every iterations? We studied in the last class, right?
Planning poker.
No. That is something is an estimation method. Don't try to confuse that one. I asked the estimation method. The first meeting, please note, it's an iteration meeting, right? Iteration
Yes.
planning. So what is the other name given for iteration planning? Anyone? If you're going to work in the Scrum environment, you know very well that the adaptive methods will be having its own methodology. We have many methodology. We have SDLC methodology, software development lifecycle methodology. We have a lean methodology. We have Six Sigma methodology. And fusing the lean and Six Sigma, we'll be having a lean Six Sigma methodology. We'll be having something called RUP, Rational Unified Process. Many tourism, many country tourism department will be using this kind of software application for them to bring the complete information about the tourist spot and what are the things is available in that country. So they'll be using this kind of application. This kind of application will be helping them to go with this kind of methodology, Rational Unified Process. Or there is a methodology called RAD. It's a rational adaptive development. So that is one of the methodology they're going to use. And they'll be using Scrum methodology. They'll be using something called extreme programming. They'll be using some methodology called Crystal. So Crystal is one of the methodology which is coming under the adaptive. So we don't require to have a detailed knowledge on that, but we have to know the names. The Crystal is a well famous methodology that will be helping you to develop the gaming software. You play the games, right? Video games, you'll be playing the mobile games and all, right? Like a solitaire, you'll play a game like a racing game. You play the games, right? Rummy and all you'll play, right? Nitin?
Yeah.
So this gaming software will be developed through a methodology called Crystal methodology. So each and every industry coming under the adaptive methods will be having its own methods to follow. But they have to just follow like a 50 to 20%. Remaining 80%, they need to follow something called Agile Manifesto. We'll have a separate topic on Agile Manifesto. So Agile Manifesto will be giving you 4 values and 12 principles. All your 90 questions will be targeted from the Agile Manifesto. So these are various methods. So what they've done, these methods are scattered. Before 2002 or 2001, these methods are scattered. And they are using their own methods. So now what the adaptive Agile environment has asked them to do, they were asking all the software companies to assemble in a place, and they want to unify all the methodology. They want to bring all the methodology under a single umbrella. Because what you guys have tagged that people working for the software industries, they're working in the heavyweight industries, and you just make a fun on them. You are calling them as ethical hackers. You are calling them, the software people, as an hackers, ethical hackers. So they doesn't want to have this kind of name. So they want to remove this particular tag, and they want to show the humankind what they really doing and what is the way they are benefiting the humankinds. So they want to unify the complete methods under a single umbrella. So they brought a concept called Agile concepts. So Agile is a common blanket term for all these methodologies. So they are not restricting. They are not giving any kind of restrictions. You can follow your methods, but 80% of the information you need to take from the Agile Manifesto, 15 to 20% you can modify based on the discipline where you work. So all these methods will have they will start with the iteration planning. They'll be planning for the iterations. Only the Scrum environment, I said very clearly, nearly 75 to 80%, all the adaptive project will be following the Scrum methods. So the Scrum methods, they're going to call this one as a Scrum, what they're going to call this one? They will call this one as a sprint planning, right? We seen that in the last class, right?
Bala, I guess we have not seen this. I don't know. I mean,
We never seen this.
no, I guess I would request other participants
Please,
to please
Arvind, Mr.
confirm.
Vijay Babu, Mr. Faisal, can you just recollect? Can you add your written in this one your notepad? Had you taken this information in the notepad last class? We have discussed this one. Varun?
I
we
joined
had gone
in
through
last class.
sprint backlog.
No,
only
that
we
sprint
discussed
backlog,
about
product
backlog.
backlog is a document. I'm asking, this is a meeting, boss.
No, with respect to meeting, I believe we need to discuss more.
Okay, we need to discuss, right?
Yeah.
We need to discuss. So the first step, there will be 4 meetings. Please try to take this one. It's in your notepad. It's very important. They're going to call this meeting as a cadence. Or they'll be calling this one as a ceremonies. You call as a meeting, they're going to call this one as a ceremonies. So they'll be having 4 ceremonies within each and every iteration. This is the order. Why it is so important? Because in the drag and drop, you know very well, match the following. They'll be keeping the complete information on the left-hand side. And you have to make sure that the right-hand side is irregularly arranged. So you need to move your cursor and you have to take the right information and you have to paste on the right-hand side. So this is the order. Iteration planning will be kicked off before they start a project. Iteration planning, they need to plan for the iterations. Right? Or this is called as sprint planning. If you're going to perform your project using the Scrum methodology, they're going to call this one as a sprint method, sprint planning. So they will be starting with the iteration planning, and the sprint planning is the same. All the methodology like SDLC, Lean, Six Sigma, Roop, RAD, Scrum, Extreme Programming, Crystal, they are going to call this one as a iteration planning, or the Scrum environment will be calling this one as a sprint planning. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah.
So once they're done with the iteration planning, the second ceremony is called as daily stand-up. Please note on daily stand-up. Or we'll be calling this one as a daily scrum. Daily stand-up, or we'll be calling this one as a daily scrum. Daily stand-up or daily scrum. What is the daily stand-up and daily scrum? You guys are called for a meeting, right? In your predictive methods, you will be called for the meetings, right? How long you going to conduct your meetings? How long you going to conduct the meetings?
Maybe 1 hour, more than 1 hour.
You are able to make any decision after that 1 hour is completed? You are able to make any decision after 1 hour is completed?
No,
Yes, to meet
case to
again.
case to case basis.
You are able to take any proper actions after the meetings? Right? But here, what happened, once the developers, the Scrum Master, they are coming for the daily work, after they're done with their biometrics, they will not ask to occupy their cubicle. The company will not permit, the management will not permit them to go and sit into their seat. The Scrum Master will be waiting in a pantry or the common place where they're going to meet. So these people will be taking a cup of coffee or tea. They'll be having a meeting. The team, the developers will be having a meeting with the Scrum Masters or the Agile coach or the team leader. So they'll be having a meeting, and this meeting will not end less than 10 minutes, or it will not exceed more than 15 minutes. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear, everyone? The meeting will not end less than 10 minutes and it will not extend more than 15 minutes. So they are able to just they're able to seal the time. They are able to just make sure that the meeting should not exceed more than 15 minutes. So each and every team will be having their meetings, and the meeting will not go more than 15 minutes, and there will be no chair will be provided. No chair, no bench, nothing will be provided. You need to stand and you need to just have the meeting. The meeting will be the meeting is between the Scrum Master and the team members. What worked out well yesterday, and what will be the issue you're going to face today, and what kind of impediments you are able to face tomorrow, how we are able to tackle this. So this kind of discussion will be happening between the Scrum Master and the team members. What happened to yesterday, how we are able to overcome the challenges, and what will happen today, and what will be the challenges you are expected, and what will be the things you're going to do tomorrow. So what features you are able to develop tomorrow? What kind of impediments or what kind of blockers will block your work? So this kind of meeting will be happening. This meeting will not exceed more than 15 minutes. So they are able to lock the time, right, guys? They are able to lock the time. And once the 15 minutes is coming, they're going to get an alarm. Ella, go and occupy your cubicle. There's no more meeting. The meeting will finish. So they are able to lock this particular time, 10 to 15 minutes. So this is called as a daily stand-up or a daily scrum. If the daily scrum is a word is given, the term is given for the scrum environment. Daily stand-up will be the common term is used in the other environment. Right? So please note on this, the time which is locked is called as a time boxed. So once they are able to lock the time, 10 to 15 minutes is locked, the time boxed. So time boxed is a definition is given for you to just have certain time. Only that time is given for you to conduct your meetings. Only that particular time is given for you to run your iterations. 2 weeks, don't try to exceed more than 2 weeks. You make sure that each and every team should be assigned with the 10 features. And all the 10 teams has to bring 10 features simultaneously. There will be no time, extra time will be given. The iteration time will be time boxed for 2 weeks. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone?
Yeah, Bala, clear.
Okay. So this is called as
Yes.
this is called as a time boxed. Time boxed. So this is a second ceremony. This is a very important ceremony. The third ceremony or cadence is called as iteration review. Iteration review. Or we're going to call this one as a sprint review. Sprint review. For us to understand the iteration review and sprint review, it will be happening between the product owners, will be the owner of the product, or the customers or the customer proxy, and the meeting will be happening between the customer proxy, product owner, and the team members, the developers. Or it can be called as a demo, or we can call this one as a product review. So this meeting will be happening between the product owners and the team members. So they're going to call this ceremony as an iteration review or sprint review. Iteration review, the other methods will be calling this one as an iteration review. The Scrum methods will be calling this one as a sprint review. Is it clear, guys? As I said very clearly, 80 to 85% or 75%, many IT companies or adaptive environment projects will be based on the Scrum environment. So they'll be calling the project manager as a Scrum master, and they'll be calling the customer proxy as a product owner, and they will be calling the team as a developer. Hello. So we call this one as an iteration review or sprint review. So the features which is developed by the developers is brought to the customer, and the customer is called for them to do the demo or product review. So the customer will come and okay, I can accept the features or I can't accept the features. Let it go. If he is going to accept the feature, it can go to the product line. If it is not accepted, you need to ask why you are not able to accept it. Whether you need to get any modifications or you want to change, or you need to bring you need to throw this particular features and you're asking us to develop a new features. So this kind of discussion will be happening between the product owners and the team developers. Is it clear or not, guys?
Clear.
Yeah,
Okay.
clear, Bala.
The last ceremony is called as retrospective. Please note on retrospective. Retrospective, or we will be calling this one as a sprint retrospective. Sprint retrospective. So once the people is completing the iterations, once the people is able to bring that features, all the features is completed, or they have some leftover features, and the iteration is completed for 2 weeks because you decide to bring that features within 2 weeks. So the people will bring the iteration within 2 weeks, sorry, the features within the 2 weeks, or they are not able to bring the complete feature which is assigned to them within 2 weeks. So they're going to close the iterations. So once they're going to close the iteration, once they are moving to the next iteration, this meeting will be happening between the product owners, the Scrum Master, and the team members. So all the 3 people will ask to assemble in a common space, and there's no time limit here. So they need to have a discussion. what went well in this iteration, what was not working well for this iteration, how the challenges are there, what are the challenges they are able to encounter, and what is the recommendation they're going to take as a future improvement for the future iterations. What recommendation will be recommended by the team members that will be taken for the continuous improvement for the future iterations. So this kind of discussion will be happening between the Scrum Masters, the product owners, and the team members. Here, the product owners and the Scrum Master will not speak. They will be listening. They will be observing with the team members. What all the things the team member is asking, what are the team members they are conveying, they are able to take that one in a full scale paper or a whiteboard, or someone, the Scrum Master will take into the system, and everything will be recorded. So this ceremony is going to end a particular iteration, and this ceremony is called as a retrospective or a sprint retrospective. This is done for the continuous improvements, and you are able to gather the lessons learned. In the predictive project, predefined projects, you're going to call this one as a lessons learned meetings. Here it is called as a retrospective meetings or a sprint retrospectives. The word sprint retrospective is used for the Scrum environment. Retrospective is used for the other methodologies. Is it clear or not, guys? So this is a systematic approach, and this is a systematic way of conducting a ceremony within the iterations. An iteration will be having 4 kind of ceremonies. They will be starting with an iteration planning, which can be called as a sprint planning. Then they'll be having the daily stand-up or a daily scrum for 10 to 15 minutes. The time is locked. So this term is defined as time boxed. And the third one will be a product review or a demo, or we call this one as an iteration review or a sprint review. So here the product owner and the team is going to meet, and the product owner is going to take his feature or is going to reject the feature, or will be coming with the changes, or he asks the developer to modify the existing features. So this particular ceremony is called as an iteration review or a sprint review. The last one, before you move for the next iteration, you need to know what all the lessons you are able to take for the future iterations, and what will be the improvements you are able to do in the future things, and what all the challenges or the recommendation from the team you are able to pass on to the next iteration to improve the continuous improvement of the next iteration. So you'll be conducting a meeting. So the meeting, the audience will be the product owners, the Scrum Masters, and the team members. So 2 people will be mute spectators, and only 1 person will be speaking, the developers. So what all the things they are able to take as a challenges, how they are able to overcome the challenges, and what is the recommendation from them to improve the next iterations. So this will be discussed for the future iterations. So this ceremony is called as a retrospective ceremony or a sprint retrospective. Is it clear or not, guys? So this is a systematic arrangement. This is a systematic order. Don't try to change the order. They're going to change the order they're going to give, and you have to place the order very clearly. They're going to give the definition part for each and every ceremonies. Make sure that they're going to give the wrong ceremony for each and every definition. You need to make sure that the ceremonies are right ceremony. You need to make sure that ceremony should be aligned with the definition which is given by PMI, Exam Security Board. Is it clear, guys?
Bala, for number 1 and 2, like iteration planning and daily stand-up, who will be attending
Iteration
this
planning?
meeting?
All the 3 people will plan for an iteration. So Scrum Masters, the team members,
Okay.
and the product owners. Right? The Scrum Master will just see what kind of motivations he has to give for the team. The team should not have any kind of disturbance. Right? So what kind of motivations he has to provide, and which skills the people is lacking. So whether to provide any kind of training, like a management related training, administrative related training, or any technical training is needed for his team, the Scrum Master has to observe in this meeting. And the product owner has to break the product into multiple features. So he has to decide how many features he will be breaking. And the team is going to take that which feature they are able to develop in this iteration, they are able to take the features. Is it clear, Nitin?
Yeah. The second one,
The
daily
second one is a
stand-up.
daily stand-up, which will be happening between the Scrum Masters and the team members. Product owner will not come. This meeting will be happening between the Scrum Master and the team members. So the team member has to give the information what they have done yesterday, and what they're going to do today, and what they're going to commit it for tomorrow. Right? Or what issue they were facing yesterday, and how they are able to handle that issues, and what issue they can come across today, and what issue they can come across tomorrow. So this discussion will be happening between the Scrum Master and the team members. The third meeting will be happening between the product owners and the team members. The product owner will come and do the product review, whether he can take that features, or he can reject the feature, or he can change the feature, or he can modify the feature depending upon his need. So you will do this one. And once it's accepted, that feature will go into the product and it's not accepted. They will be notifying the reason for why it is not accepted, whether he's coming for a new changes or whether he's asking you to modification, what kind of modification is asking you to bring. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, yes.
Clear?
Last question, Bala, for this. You said for daily stand-up, the duration is minimum 10 to maximum 15.
Maximum 15 minutes. Yeah.
And for retrospective or sprint retrospective, it is there is
It
no
is
time
also
limit.
time. It is not 10 to 15 minutes. It will take like 1 hour for them to discuss to complete an iterations.
You're
1
talking
hour
about
or 2 hours. 1 hour or 2 hours. And
for daily stand-up,
that also is time boxed.
for the retrospective also, huh?
Yeah, retrospective also time boxed. Iteration also time boxed, right? See, boss,
Because
you need to make sure that you have to challenge the status quo in the market. You have to release your product, right? You have to release your product into the market to face the competitions, right?
okay.
So you should not stretch your time, right? So each and every event should be time boxed.
Mhm.
It's clear.
Yeah. And for the first meeting, this iteration planning, it will be also time boxed,
Yeah,
right?
everything will be time boxed.
Okay,
Time
clear,
box.
Bala.
It's very clearly they're going to time box. 1 hour you need to plan for iteration, or half a day we need to plan for the iteration plannings. We have to spend for at least 1 day we need to spend for iteration planning. So each and every event will be time boxed.
Clear, Bala. Thanks.
It's clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what happened here in the daily scrum, the daily stand-up with the meeting will be happening between the product owner and the scrum master. Sorry, the daily scrum meeting will be happening between the scrum master and the team members. Right?
Yeah.
If suppose one of the team members is coming forward and he is giving the information that he needs the scrum master to spend more time on his issues. Because you know very well that 10 to 15 minutes only will be given, right? So for you to discuss with the scrum master is a 10 to 15 minutes. More than that, they will not allow you to stand in that area. You go and you do your work. So if the person, one person is having an issue and he needs more time to discuss his issue. So what happens? Clearly, the scrum master will say that, okay, I think that you got an issues. I think the correct person is the program manager or the technical manager or the particular resource manager is a appropriate person. So I do one thing. I take your issue and I make an arrangement. You can have a separate meeting with your person and he can sort out. Is it clear? Right or not? Hello? Hello?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So the 10 to 15 minutes will not able to sort out the issue or the obstacles. So that particular candidate needs extra time for him to discuss his queries. So he's not getting the cooperation from his own team members, or the particular feature is so challenging features, or the customer is approaching him directly and is asking him to take the changes, to accommodate the changes. So this kind of thing is, need an extra discussions. So 10 to 15 minutes, the time box even will not allow him to discuss further. So what the Scrum Master will say, okay, I will take a note on this and I'm not an appropriate person to resolve this one. And our technical manager or program manager is an appropriate person to just sort out this one. I make an appointment. Let me confirm him when he is free. So I make you to just have a meeting with him. So this condition is called as, please note it, parking lot. Good evening, Ms. Kala. Good evening, Kala ma'am. Still I'm connected with you guys. Yuvraj?
Yes.
Okay. So parking lot is something, if you're going to get this kind of term in your examination point of view, it's nothing but the meeting needs an excess time. Since the people that the Scrum Master team is not able to resolve these issues or they're not able to finish off the meeting. So this condition will be considered as a separate meeting and this meeting is called as a parking lot. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah, Bala, yeah.
Okay, clear. So this is a ceremony. This is order: iteration planning, sprint planning, daily stand-up, a daily scrum. The third one is your product review, or we call that one as an iteration review, or we can call that one as a sprint review. The last ceremony will be completing with a retrospective or sprint retrospective. The word sprint will be used in the Scrum environment, and the Scrum Master is coming from the Scrum environment. The so famous designation, because most of the project in IT will be coming under the Scrum methodology. That's the reason they're going to call this one as a Scrum Master. So other people like a Six Sigma, like a lean management, so the methodology will call this person as a team leader. Sometimes the people will be calling them as an agile coach. So agile coach, team leader, Scrum Master is the same. That is nothing but the designation given to the project manager who's moving from the predictive methods to the adaptive methods. So the project, the organization is completely is in the transition. So henceforth, all the project will be in agile projects. So you are moving from the predictive methodology to the adaptive methodology. So there is no designation given to you as a project manager. You will be called as a Scrum Master, or you'll be called as a team leader, or you'll be called as an agile coach. And all the team members are working to for your projects, or called as or cross-functional in nature, right? And the person who's going to develop, the person who's asking you to develop the product will be called as a product manager or product owner, or we call this one as a customer or customer proxy. Only this three designation is available in the Scrum in the adaptive environment. Any questions on this? Any questions on this?
No.
Okay. So the first three chapters. Okay, the first chapter is very, very basic. So I want to ask you the question. So what do you mean by project? Anyone?
It's a temporary endeavor.
Temporary endeavor, right? So what do you mean a temporary endeavor? A particular monument project will take 100 years to complete. So it's a temporary endeavor. Still, it is a temporary endeavor.
Yes.
So it's an endeavor. Okay. So temporary endeavor, a project should have a specific start date and a completion date, right? Whether it's going to be
Yes.
1 day TV program, or it's going to be a 10 years projects, or it's going to be 100 years monomode project, we call this one as a project. Okay. So what are the other characteristics of projects? Only the temporary endeavor is a characteristic project.
It's a unique.
Okay. What do you mean by unique? Okay. You got a tower A, you got a tower B. And this project will be done in sequence. But you can see the complete specifications. The complete specification for project A is similar to project B, and it's identical. Both projects are identical. Both projects are similar. The specification, the resource requirements, the clients, the contractors, the vendors, the suppliers, the lenders, the bankers, the stakeholders, the customers, the end users, everyone is the same. The board of directors, the managing directors, steering committees, approval committees, panel committee members, project management team, project managers, everything is same. So can we call the tower B as a project still?
Change of place is a
what uniqueness you can see in the project B? Everything is same. The same
place.
The same ministry is going to give you the approval. The same Karama is going to give you the electricity approval. The same metro, the municipality is going to give you the approval for you to do the site mobilizations. So same, someone is giving the answer called location. Who said that? Mr. Rajendra said this location, right? Someone has said that location is unique in locations. Can we consider still the project B as a project, or we can consider project B as an operation? First of all, we need to know about what do you mean by project and what do you mean by operations? What is project and what is operations? Everyone has gone into this sleeping mode. I think that I need to increase my voice decibel for you to awake.
I'm with you, Bala. I'm with you, Bala.
Okay, you are with me. Mr. Pavan, Mr. Faisal, Vijay Babu, Mr. Arvind.
Yes, I'm with you.
Everyone is with you, right?
Project produces deliverables.
Deliverables. What about the soil? What about the soil conditions? What about the soil conditions? Someone, as I said very clearly, someone has said that locations. Is two soil condition will be the same once you're going to test into the laboratory? You're going to take the traces of the soil from one place to other place, and you're going to test in the laboratory whether the two place soil will be in the same conditions. It will not have any uniqueness in that. It will have the
It will be
uniqueness,
different.
right?
Yeah, it will have uniqueness.
Okay, okay. What about something called a project charter? Project charter. You heard anything called project charter? You called any?
Yes.
Huh?
We do that's work breakdown structure in that.
No. Don't come with your work. Even you never initiated a project. You got your award. You got your award. Just you got your award.
It is an internal document that we prepare when we start the project.
Okay, what is the
With the
necessary for
minimum
you to have
details.
the project charter in place? Why you need to do the project charter?
To record that minimum details of the project.
Huh?
To finalize like the project manager who is the one and
Yes, who said this? Who said this? Who said this? Guys, try to come for this close. You may have any designation. Once you are coming into the course, try to take your feet from your shoes and keep your feet into the project manager shoes or the team leader shoes or scrum master shoes. This course is going to focus on this. Either you need to be a team leader once you want to work in the adaptive environment, or you need to work into a predictive environment, you need to be a project manager. So you are having the project charter, and the project charter will finalize this project manager, right?
Yeah.
So you are just propagating the project manager name to the entire world. We're going to start this project, and the person who's going to take a project lead will be the project manager. So you are able to find your captain. You are able to find your pilot. So who's going to take the complete responsibilities and accountability for the organization to complete these objectives through the assigned project manager. So the project manager name we can see in the project charter. So my question to you, whether the two project charter, project tower A and tower B, so the two project charter will be the same?
No.
Use the same charter to the two projects?
No.
No. So you can see that project is having uniqueness in having the project charter. Whether the project is going to be similar in nature or identical in nature, though no two projects will be using the same charter. Is it clear or not, Ace? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, can you take this one also into your notepad, please? This is very important. You are able to get nearly 5 to 6 questions on this. There is something called a team charter. So what is the difference between the project charter and the team charter? Project charter, we have a separate process. Once we are coming to the integration management, we'll be seeing the entire information, what all the things ingredients you need to develop, needed for you to develop the charter. So how the project charter is having a difference with the team charter? Or the team charter is the same? What all the things you are able to bring into the project charter is the same in the team charter? Whether the team charter is one of the formal document can be applicable in the predictive projects, or it is only applicable in the adaptive projects. Since we are discussing about the project charter is having a uniqueness, no two project will be using the same kind of charter, so that the project is unique in characters. So what do you mean by the team charter? Team charter and the project charter are same. Project charter will name the project manager. You're able to find out your captain. You're able to find out your pilot. And you're able to know about who's the sponsor of the project. And it's an internal document. It's not an external document. It's not a legal document. It's going to be a formal binding between the sponsor, internal sponsor, and the project manager. There is no need for you to get your project charter from your client, because the client side, they will be having their own project manager, and you enter as a prime contractor with your client. Your own sponsor has to issue the project charter. He has to give you the authority, where the project manager will take his formal power. Legitimate power for the project manager is given in the project charter. That's the reason I said very clearly, no two project will be using the same kind of charter. The charter will be having uniqueness. So how we are able to differentiate the project charter with the team charter? Miss Kala, can you help me, please? Miss Kala, you are there? Okay. So what
Project charter is on a higher level. compared to team charter?
What? Come, no problem. Come with the answer. Whether it's the right answer or wrong answer, come with your answers, please.
Team charter may have information on about the team and responsibilities.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. The team charter will be having the complete information about the team and their responsibilities. Please note on this. And team charter is not available in the predictive methodology. Team charter is available only in the adaptive methods. Whether you follow the Scrum methodology, whether you follow the extreme programming methodology, whether you are following the RUP methodology, rational unified process methodology, software development lifecycle methodology, all this methodology will be having its own team charter. So who will be developing the team charter? The management will be developing the team charter or the team leader? Because management will develop the team charter for its team, who's going to develop the product for them, or the team leader who's assigned to that team will be developing the team charter.
Team leader.
Team leader.
No, the team lead, neither the team leader or the management, the team themselves has to create their own charter. The team themselves, they have to create their own charter. I said very clearly, the size of the team will be not less than 7 people, not more than 9 people. If the product is so complex for them to develop, the team size will be 9 to 11, right? So each and every team will be having its own charter. If you have 10 teams, the 10 team will be having its own charter. So there will be 10 charter for the complete project. Right, sir? And what is the necessity for you to have the team charter and what information you are able to define into the team charter? What information you need to define into the team charter? What information the team will be defining in the team charter? Why the team charter is important and why the team charter in place?
It tells the roles and responsibilities of the team members.
Okay, there is no responsibility. There is no roles and responsibility, right? Everyone is equal. Each and every person will be taking their roles and responsibility like it will be rotated. One day you become a quality inspector. Next day I become a quality inspector. One day you become a quality assurance. One day you write a code. One day you write the program. One day you just estimate the level of efforts. So this will be done. It will be the roles will be rotated. So there is no need for you to have the roles and responsibilities. So what information you are able to define into the team charter? It's very common in the adaptive environment. Nearly 5 to 6 questions will be tested with the team charter.
Probably it is the vision of the team or what the item they should focus.
Yes, please note down. The main criteria is that ground rules. The team is able to define their ground rules. What is accepted to everyone and what is accepted to individuals. What is an acceptable behavior from this team and what is accepted behavior from outside from this team. What they are able to accept, what they are not able to accept. Norms. Conditions. And very important thing is that communication protocols. Communication protocols. And very important thing is that the conflict resolution techniques. Conflict resolution technique. These are all the things, very important things they are able, the team is able to define into the team charter. Why the people is able to define into the team charter? This people is having the reporting relations. They are able to report their project then and there to the Scrum Master or to the management. Whether they have any reporting relations, they are reporting their project to the people.
No.
No, there's no reporting relations, right? Like how you
Yes.
report your project, the status report, the progress report, how you are able to report, they are not able to do any kind of reportings. Their work, their job is to do the feature which is assigned to them. They should show the complete dedications. They are so cross-functional in nature. Okay, if we don't have any kind of reporting relations, what happened to the team mentality? What happens to the team mentality? If you don't have this kind of ground rules, norms, procedures, conditions, communication protocols, conflict resolution techniques, what happens?
They are more cohesive.
What, sir?
More cohesive. Team spirit.
Okay, team spirit, yeah. Okay, what happened if someone is not supervising you, sir? You are
Efficiency may
We
go
take
down.
our own responsibility,
okay.
accountability,
There
and
won't be any
responsibility.
Yes,
clarity on that.
please note down. These people, day by day, if there is no person is observing them or there no person is supervising them, there is no reporting relations. The mentality of the people will change into tribal mentality. Or we call this one as a barbaric. If the people within the team is going to be a tribal or a barbaric behavior, what happens? Can the other team can get the cooperation from this team because these people has to integrate the feature into the product line. So whether the other team can able to get the cooperation with the other teams, team A can get the cooperation with team B, team C can get the cooperation from the team C, team B. No, right, Nitin?
No.
Your mentality becomes a tribal. You are
Mhm.
barbaric. You are so cruel. You are not behaving good. And if I'm going to bring an OJT, like on the job trainer, to give training to you, you are making fun, and you doesn't have the business etiquette in how to behave in public, and everyone is taking responsibility in speaking into the public forum. So it's good for the management. It's good for the team.
No.
Each and every meeting, you need to nominate one of your representative. Okay, you take in charge. You just represent us. Next time, you take in charge. So you need to rotate the roles. So the ground rules, norms, condition, communication protocols, you will be avoiding the people going into the tribal mentality. You need to get the cooperations. If there is any conflict raising within the team has to know what kind of resolution they will use to resolve the conflicts. Because you know very well, if the conflict is going to raise, you are not able to bring a good productivity within the team. And that will raise to the animosity. You want that? You want that? The environment, the complete environment should be spoiled because of this tribal mentality. For one team is having the tribal mentality, they are not giving the cooperations, because you know very well that the real quality lies in each and every team. They need to just integrate continuously that feature into the product line. There should be a proper integrations. There should be a continuous integration to give the continuous value to the customers. If one team is not giving the cooperation to the other team, the entire project will be collapsed. So in order to avoid this kind of tribal mentality, in order to avoid this kind of barbaric behavior, the management is giving the responsibility to the team who's going to in charge. They will be writing their own team charter. So now my question to you, who has to enforce the ground rules and who has to reiterate the ground rules? That means reinforce the ground rules. Please be very cautious if there's any kind of question which is asking about the conflict raising in the meeting and they're not able to behave properly. So who has to enforce the ground rules and who has to reinforce the ground rules?
Is it project manager?
There's no project manager. There will be a team leader, right? There will be a scrum master. Because you can't see the team charter in the predictive projects. Your project will not have any kind of document called team charter. Have you used any document called team charter? Maybe this is the first time you'll be listening to the word called team charter, right? Maybe many people will be having a knowledge about the project charter. The project charter is a project official document that is going to give the entire world. The company is going to initiate a project and they will follow the project manager. The sponsor is giving the authority to the project manager. So that is a common. The other name given for the project charter in the Prince2 standard, please note it's called as a project brief. If you are performing the Prince2 standard, they're going to call the project charter as a project brief. So each and every textbook will be having its own definitions. So project brief is the same in the Prince2. That is nothing but your project charter. So project charter is a common for the adaptive and the predictive. You're able to know about this. So maybe the people will not have the project charter in the adaptive environment, but the team charter is mandatory for you to use in the adaptive environment. The team charter is very, very common documents. So now my question to you, who will be the person to enforce the ground rules and who will be the person to reiterate or reinforce the ground rules? Guys, this is asking the examination question. They will be asking the examination question. So who will be the person to reiterate and who will be the person to enforce the ground rules? Who has to enforce it and who has to reinforce it? Faisal? Good evening, Mr. Arman.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, latecomers.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem. So who has to enforce it and who has to reinforce it?
Management.
Please note on, the enforcement should come from the team who's going to be responsible for the team charter. The enforcement should come from the team who has written the team charter. Reinforcement or reiterate the ground rules should be coming from the scrum master or the team leader. If the people are not following the ground rules, someone has to remain them, right? So the team leader has to remain them. This is the thing you have written in the team charter. Why you are behaving like an animal? Why you are behaving like a barbaric? So the reiteration has to come from the team leader, and the enforcement should come from the team who has written the charter, because the people who's going to bring their guideline and they're going to bring their communication protocols, who has to speak, who should not speak, and how we need to just respond to the trainer who has brought as a new trainer and who's going to give the classes. So what is acceptable behavior? What is not accepted? So all the things they are going to write as a guideline. So they are having the ownership for the guideline which they brought into the team charter. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we saw the project. So we saw the project is a temporary endeavor and it's having uniqueness. So what is the reason for you to undertake a project? Why you are undertaking a project? Because you know very well, for an organization, the project is a vehicle that makes you to just go from the current state to the future state, right? You're moving the organization from the current state to the future state. So through the vehicle called project. So why you need to undertake a project? For what you going to undertake a project? Faisal?
For any requirements?
What you going to create through your project? What you are creating through the project? You're not creating the products.
Yes, we are
You're not creating your service.
Yes.
You are not creating the results. Altogether, what you're going to do, you are able to create something called deliverables. Right? Deliverables. So this deliverables can be a tangible or it can be intangible, right? You are able to undertake a project to create a product, service, and result, and we're going to call this one as a deliverables. It can be a tangible or it can be intangible. So project is going to be an ongoing endeavor or a temporary endeavor. Can you stretch your projects? Can you stretch your projects?
Ideally, no.
No, right? It's not your business. Please note out the difference between the project and operations. Project is going to be a temporary endeavor and operations are an ongoing endeavor. Operations are ongoing endeavor. Right? So you can see that you are able to sustain the business based on the recurring work. You will not do the recurring work for each and every project. So that's the reason the project is unique. You will not use the same skill sets. You will not use the same competencies. You will not use the same knowledge. So the tools, the techniques, the process, you are able to go with a tailor-made approach. You're able to skip some process. You're able to skip your tools. You're able to skip some knowledge. You're able to skip your competencies from project to project. That's the reason the project is unique in characteristics. Okay, we've seen about the project. We've seen about the operations. What do you mean by project management? And how we are able to differentiate the word project management with the program management. And how we are able to differentiate this one with the portfolio. What do you mean by project management? What do you mean by program management? What do you mean by portfolio management? Because you know very well, you can practice your project management in a standalone project. You can practice your project management under the program management. You can practice your project management under the portfolio. If your organization is structured as a portfolio organization, you do practice your project management. You can become a project manager. You can report your project to the portfolio managers. You can report your project to the program managers. You can do your standalone projects. Is it clear or not, guys? Is it clear or not?
Yes.
Is it clear, right? So what do you mean by project management? The program management and portfolio management is not our scope. But program management is going to be what? A collections of interrelated projects. Each and every project is having the dependencies. If any one project is going to collapse, it is going to collapse the entire programs. And this complete domain is taken by the program managers, and the project manager will be reporting then and there about their project to the program managers. The portfolio is going to focus about the strategic objective of the organization. It's going to focus only the strategic objectives. The portfolio managers are superior there. They're the boss. They have the lion's share of they can make the decisions. The power lies with the portfolio managers. And these managers will just decide where to invest, how to get the return on investments. So these people will be having the strong knowledge on project management. These people will be having the strong knowledge on program management, and these people will be having the strong knowledge on investments, especially once it is coming to the corporate finance for the long-term investments. So these people will be able to know about the strategic initiatives. So the portfolio managers are so superior. So they're going to take the project, which is going to give the good return on investments. They are able to deal with the sub-projects. They are able to deal with the programs. They are able to deal with the sub-programs. They are able to deal with the sub-portfolios. Even they are able to take the operations, which is going to give the good return on investments. If any domain which is reporting under the portfolio is not providing them proper strategic objectives or not giving the proper return on investments, the portfolio manager is having every right to scratch that business. The main initiative of the portfolio organization is that you're going to focus about the strategic investments. The strategic objective of the organization should be attained. The program, they have the objective to complete each and every project which is coming under the same programs. So once all the project is successful, the program domain also will be successful. The program objective will be successful. So what do you mean by project management? Because we are seeing about the project management, right?
Yes.
So the skills, the knowledge, the competencies, the process which makes you to accomplish your project objective is nothing but your project management. The skills you have, the knowledge you have, the competencies you have, the ability you have, and you're able to just perform your process from initiating to the closing for you to just complete your project objective will be called as a project management.
Can you repeat again, Bala?
The skills, the knowledge, the competencies, the ability, right? The behavior, so the tools, the techniques, and the process which you select to accomplish your project objective is nothing but your project management. You're able to accomplish you're able to do the proper project management by accomplishing all this. You're able to perform this in a well manner, in a systematic manner. You're able to do this. So this is applying the tools, techniques on your project objective is nothing but your project management. So the application of the skills, knowledge, the competency on the program objective will be the program management, right? Okay. Now, if you are working into the portfolio organizations, so the portfolio managers or the top management has to align the project management under its domain. So what will be the strategic execution framework will be aligning all the objectives. If the organization is going to focus about the portfolio will be having various kind of domains. It will be having the program domain under its, it will be having the program under its domain. It will be having the project under its domain. It will be having the sub-project, sub-portfolio, sub-program, and it will be taking the operation also under its domain. So how the strategic execution framework will be aligned between all these domains. One program will be one portfolio will be a water portfolio, other portfolio will be healthcare portfolio, other one will be the tourism portfolio. The program will be one of the program. They're going to develop the airport. That will be one of the program. They will be developing an infrastructure projects, infrastructure programs. Project will be a standalone project, a skyscraper, a standalone tower, a high-rise tower. Right, and operations will be like they need to just have the cinema theaters, so that will be in operations. They need to have the theme park, so where many people will come inside the theme park. They need to just have the zoo. So this will be the operation that will be giving the productivity. They will be giving the return on investments. So there should be a strategic execution framework that has to align all the objectives. So anyone can name about the strategic objective, strategic execution framework that will be aligning the portfolio, that will be aligning the program management, that will be aligning the operation management and the project management. Please note on, there is a strategic execution framework which will be giving you the governance framework for you to align all the objectives. Right? So that makes you to complete each and every objective which is set to all the domains. So please note on OPM. OPM is nothing but a strategic execution framework will be aligning all your domains. It's a strategic execution framework. It's a strategic execution governance framework that will be aligning all these domains. So this is nothing but OPM, Organizational Project Management. Organizational Project Management. And if you want to know about this organizational project management, there is a book you can download in the PMI website. That book is called as OPM 3. Organizational Project Management Maturity Model. Organizational Project Management Maturity Model is a book which is given by the PMI. Maybe you need to pay for the book, or you can get the free download copy, and you can see that how you are able to mature an organization. If you want to take that one into portfolio program level, how we are able to align each and every objective, each and every domain, and what will be the objective you're going to set for each and every domain areas. So there should be a common strategic execution framework, which is given by the OPM, Organizational Project Management, and it's supported by a book called Organizational Project Management Maturity Model. And sometimes there will be a thing called CMMI. You know the CMMI? Anyone? Hello?
Yes.
What is that CMMI? CMMI also is going to be a common, it's a strategic enabler. So that is going to align the complete business within the organizations. Many multinational companies will be having this kind of a CMMI. The CMMI is nothing but a capability, maturity, model, integrity. Capability, maturity, model, integrity, which is going to align the complete organization objectives, is a strategic execution framework. So in the project management, you will be having the same kind of strategic execution framework. It's an enabler, which is nothing but organizational project management, OPM, right? Okay. So we need to discuss something about PMO. So what is the role of PMO? We'll see about the PMO in the second chapter right now. The second chapter is nothing but the environment in which your project is operating. Okay, who will be doing the project? Who has to be a brand ambassador for project management? Hello?
Yes, the project manager.
The project manager. The project manager is a brand ambassador, right? You are a formal or informal brand ambassador. For you need to make sure that everyone has to practice proper project management, right? So that is your role of that is the role of the project manager, right? So how you are able to define the project manager? How we are able to define the project manager? Anyone? You got your formal or informal brand ambassador who's going to promote the project management, and he has to see that everyone has to do the proper project management. So that is the role. And what is how are you going to define the project manager? Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes.
So how we are able to define the project manager? Anyone? Who's going to appoint the project manager? Who's going to appoint the project manager, guys? Please note a performing organization. The performing organization will be appointing the project manager, right? So who's going to lead the team which is assigned to them, and he makes the team to assign the set objectives. So who's going to lead a team which is assigned to him by the performing organization and makes the team to achieve the project objectives. He'll be the project manager. Right or wrong, guys? Right or wrong? Hello? What happened to everyone? Everyone has gone into the sleeping mode. Why? Hello?
Yeah,
Yes,
Bala.
we
Yes,
will
yes.
not.
Okay. Now we'll go with the second chapter that what factors will influence under which your project is operated. Please note on, there are two important factors that makes you to operate your project. That's an influencing factors. Either it will be positively influencing or it will be negatively influencing. Right? So the role of the project manager is to see what he has to lead the team in a proper way. The team has to complete the objective assigned to them. Right? The project objective should be completed by the team members. So project is not going to be one-man show. It's going to be teamwork. You can't operate the project in vacuum. Right? So the role of the project manager is what? He should be a manager and he should be a leader. Right? Many times you should be a manager. You should be managing the project in an administrative way. And you should be inspiring other people by having the leadership skills. Right? So now we have to know that under which what are the influencing factors under which the project is operated. How the project manager is able to overcome this influence. Right? Now there are two influencing factors. One is your enterprise environmental factors. One is enterprise environmental factors, and the other one is your organizational process assets. Please note on the enterprise environmental factors will be called as an EEF. Enterprise environmental factors is EEF. The organizational process asset will be your OPA. Right? So this will be the two important factors. This will be the two important factors. So enterprise environmental factors and organizational process asset. And the third one, they given like organizational structure that will be coming under the enterprise environmental factors. Why they brought as a third. So we have to see two influencing factors. One is enterprise environmental factors, and the other one is organizational process aspects. Right. So how many processes we have in total to support the project management?
49.
49 processes. So what is the input you're going to put into the each and every process? How are you going to operate your process? How are you going to perform a process? You need to feed, you know very well what is the output you're going to get from the process. Already your outputs are predefined. My output is predefined. I'm going to get a cup of coffee. A cup of coffee or a cup of tea will be a predefined output. So I'm able to get a cup of coffee. The tools and techniques I'm going to add on my input will be what? The heat, the kettle, the stove. So that will be the tools and that will be the technique for me to add on my input. So what input I need to add for me to get a cup of tea?
All resources.
So what resources are going to add? You'll be adding the tea, right? You will be adding the tea powders. You'll be adding the sugars. You'll be adding the milk. You'll be adding the water, right?
Process.
Okay. So that you need to add, right? If you don't know how to make a tea, so how are you going to make a tea? Your mother the mother would have found out some recipes and you would have documented that recipe, right? She would have documented the recipe in a book, right? Right or wrong, sir?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that book, that recipe is called as your organizational process assets. And you need to know various influencing factors, EEF. What influencing factor will make me to develop a cup of tea? Whether an influencing factor can come from the internal or influencing factor can come from external. So you need to know about your influencing factors. Enterprise environmental factors. Influencing factor will be internal factors or it will be an external factors. Then you need to make sure that you need to know about your organizational process assets. So almost all the 49 processes will be using the enterprise environmental factor as an input process. And almost all the people will be going with the organizational process assets. So we need to have the great look on that. We need to have a broader look on enterprise environmental factors, why it is used as an input, and why the organizational process asset is used as an input. Everyone is ready?
Yes.
So how many times? How many? We have another 40 minutes more, right? So another 40 minutes will be a cracking session. Please be live. Everyone is there, right? Be attentive. Can I start?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
have a
well.
notepad. You need to take a lot of hints in the notepad. A lot of hints in the notepad. Let me open the whiteboard. Let me open my whiteboard. Okay. So what we have to see about the enterprise environmental factors. We call this one as a EEF, right? EEF. Someone was recommending me to use a black color. So let me go with the black. So first factor will be enterprise environmental factors, EEF. So almost out of 49 process, 44 process will be using the enterprise environmental factor as the input. So the project manager has to know what all the influencing factors. So the influence will come from internal, influence will come from external. It can be a positive influence or it can be a negative influence. You need to make sure that your skills, your knowledge, your competencies should overcome the negative influences. Right. Now the internal factors. One of the influencing factors will be your culture. Nitin?
Yeah.
You're only one Indian is working and remaining everyone is Egyptian. So which culture will be having a lot of influence on you? You can be more
Egyptian.
superior there or their culture will be more superior.
Obviously, their culture.
Okay, you all Indians are there and only one Filipino is working with you. Like Mr. Arman is working with you. So who's influencing more there? Because you are working in the diversified environment, right? Because you can't take the same people from the same country. So the people are mixed together, right? In the projects. And we're going to speak about the common language. That is our project management. So the culture is a great influencing factors. It will give you the success or it will give you the failures. So being a project manager is my role in order to just have the culture sensitivity. Please note down, I need to just have the interpersonal skills called cultural awareness. Cultural awareness is a great interpersonal skills for the project manager to avoid any kind of misinterpretation and miscommunications. So they're keep on asking, very well, the people domain, they will be asking nearly 74 questions. The percentage share is given as 42% share is given. Out of 180, you'll be getting 74 questions on the people domain. So they keep on repeating the same question. The cultural awareness is the correct answer for you to choose. In order to avoid the misunderstanding, misinterpretation, and miscommunication, what interpersonal skills you're going to select? The correct answer is cultural awareness. So you need to make sure that you need to have the cultural sensitivity. Make sure that how you're going to respect your own culture, you need to respect other people's culture also. Right? And you can't have the same culture throughout the global market. So first factors, the culture is one of the deciding authority. Either it will give you the success or it will be giving you the failure. The second important factor will be the structure of your organization where you work. The organization structure. The structure of the organization where you work. Okay. So how many structure of the organization we have? We are seeing about the enterprise environmental factors, internal factors and external factors. Now we are seeing about the internal factors. Now we are seeing about the organization structure. Now what do you mean the organization structure? We call this one as a OBS, right? Right or wrong, sir? What is that OBS? Organization breakdown structure, right? Right or wrong?
Yes, right.
Okay. You have many BS. We have WBS. What is WBS? Work breakdown structure.
Breakdown structure.
And we have something called RBS. What is this RBS? We have
Resource breakdown.
Resource breakdown structure. The resource breakdown structure is nothing but you're breaking your resources into different categories. Very easy for you to give the assignments. Welders, gas cutters, pipe fitters, steam layers, cab drivers, forklift operators, right? Foremen, engineers. So you are able to break the resources, right? Then we have again the same thing will be Expanded RBS, the acronym will be RBS, it's nothing but a risk breakdown structure. So we have to see many breakdown structure. First, we see the organization breakdown structure, OBS. So OBS will be coming under the organization structure. So the organization structure can be a various format. That will be a great influencing factors. So once you try to once you try to run your process, make sure that you're influencing factors. So what kind of organization will you work? So organization can be very simple. This is called as the organic. So organic organization structure, you can see in the grocery, a small grocery, where you can see that vendor, the owner will be a person, and there will be like 3 or 4 people who will be working in the grocery, like a cold storage. Right? So the commands will come from the owner to the subordinates. And if any subordinate is not able to come for like he's having a disability or is having some sickness, he's not able to come, fever. So the owner will convert himself as a subordinate. He will be working as a servant. So this is a simple organic structure. But what happens if you're going to work as a project manager in a functional type of organization, functional type. The functional type, they will be doing the functional duties. The organization breakdown structure is nothing but breaking your organization into different departments and units. If you don't have the organization breakdown structure, what happens? If you don't have the organization breakdown structure, if you're not breaking your organization into different departments or units in the predictive methodology, what happens? Are you able to assign the roles and responsibilities? Are you able to bring the reporting relationships? Are you able to bring the work authorization system within the organization? Who has to work, what sequence has to work, when they have to work, then when they have to complete. So there should be a clear work authorization system. There should be a clear reporting relationship systems. Everyone will be a manager, and who will be the subordinates? Who will be the reporting staff? If everyone become a manager, everyone become a line managers, or everyone become a supervisors, who becomes a working staff? In order to avoid this, you should have a clear organizational breakdown structure. You need to break your organization into different departments and units. So once you are working as a project manager in the functional type of organization, the functional manager will be the superior. They are the boss. You have the sales and marketing. You have the accounting sections. You have other functional departments. Safety is a functional department. IT, there are functional departments. You have various maintenance, there are functional departments. So the functional managers are the supervisor there. They have the powers. They can come with their own decisions. Now, if you're going to work in the functional type of organization, what is your power? The market is not so good market. The market is a recession market. You don't have the projects in forward. Only Saudi Arabia is having a good projects, and you don't want to go to Saudi Arabia because you used up to the Qatar culture. And you got your work within the functional type. So what is your power? You have more power, or the functional manager will be having more power? Give me the answers, guys. Give me the answer. Who will be having more power? Am I audible to you? Huh? Am I audible to you guys? Am I audible to you?
Yes.
Yeah, Bala.
So the functional managers will be having more power than you. The influencing factor will be coming from the functional managers. They will not allow you to implement any kind of decisions. They will not empower you. They will not give you any kind of autonomy. Right? For example, there is a functional type. You're going to break this one. Your organization is broken into different departments. And this is a CEO. And this is the functional managers. They are reporting to the CEO. And the functional manager is getting the reports from the subordinates. The staff working under the functional managers. Now, the CEO want to implement ISO 9001-2015 standards. So he's calling the functional manager to the meeting and is discussing whether we need to bring the third-party register inside for us to implement the ISO 9001, or I can buy a guideline from the register so we can implement our own, not bringing everyone from external. So the functional manager is reading to the functional study the standard guideline, which will be 40 pages in number, and they say, okay, we have only 10 clauses and we have some sub clauses. So we know very well that we can read through the 10 clauses. We can appoint our people to implement this one. We need to maintain a proper documentation. So we don't require to bring any kind of register inside to do this kind of documentation work. Why we need to spend unwantedly? So we can do the work our own. So we can nominate our own subordinate to do this work. We can implement through our subordinates. So each and every functional manager is going to pick his own subordinates, and they're going to give the assignments to the subordinates. Because this is going to be a very small project, it is going to run for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So once the project work is completed, the subordinates, the people who's going to working as a reporting staff under the functional managers, they are redeployed back to the functional duties. So the complete loyalty goes to the functional duties, not to the project duties. You want to give some suggestion, but the functional manager will not listen to you. Do what I say. Don't try to teach me a lessons. I know what to do. So this is your case. So this will be one of the greatest influencing factors. So you need to make sure that you are to overcome your factors based on the interpersonal skills you have. Or exactly opposite, there is something called a projectized. So projectized structure. So you have the projectized structure. Your organization is projectized structure. So if you're going to work in the projectized organization structure, so who's going to have the power?
Project manager.
A project manager will be having the lion's share of power. They are the key decision authority. They have more power to implement the things. Their decision are the final. Right? Because the complete revenue, the margin, the profit, the bread and butter for the company is coming from the project managers and the projects. The people who's going to report to the project manager are the projectized staff, project team members, project management team members. They show the complete loyalty to the project they work. Right? They do have the functional department, like they have the safety department, they have the accounts department, accounts receivable, accounts payable, but these people are less influential people compared to the project managers. So make sure that what factors will give you the great influence. You get your positive influence, internal influence once you're working as a project manager within the projectized organization. If you're going to work in the functional type of organization or organic type of organization, you don't have that much of power. Your power is very low, negligible. You don't have any power to implement anything. So you are not able to come with your decisions. They will not permit you. You are not able to overcome. Right? But what is the greatest drawback in this projectized organization? If there's no sign of future projects, how long the organization will give you the salary? The communication between you and the organization will be a siloed, disconnected. You don't have the permanent office in your head office. All your quota cabinets are dismantled. So where are you going to sit? Where are you going to sit, Mr. Arvind? If you don't have projects, there is no sign of project for next 6 months. Whether the organization will keep you in the organization, whether the management will make you to work in the organization.
No.
We get shortlisted, right? So
Yeah.
that's the greatest drawback in this organization. But the advantage is that you get your power, you are empowered with your power, you can come with your own decisions. Even the CEO, the top management will listen to you because they know very well the revenue, the margin, the profit, everything is coming from the project. They do project, they will not do any kind of operations. They do the operations, they will be doing the operation, but these people are very less influential. Like they have those accounts, they have the safety. Right? Now, what happens if you're going to mix the projectized with the functional type, we get something called a matrix. So the matrix can be, it can be a weak matrix. It can be a balanced matrix. It can be the strong matrix, or the matrix can be a composite matrix. Composite. Now, the weak matrix, what is the weak matrix? You're going to fuse the projectized organization very less, and the functional manager will be having the great share. So They do projects. They do projects like ISO or any kind of implementation they can do. That project will run for like 1 month or 1.5 months. So they do projects. In that case, the functional manager will nominate their subordinate to work in the project. Until they're going to complete the project, they will not come to the functional duties. They are not responsible for any kind of functional duties. They need to concentrate only on the project duties, and they have to report the project to the functional managers. Now, each and every department, the functional manager, the supervisor is going to nominate their own staff, and each and every staff will be having the roles and responsibility. So few people are called as project coordinators. Few people are called as a project coordinators, and some people is called as project expeditor, project coordinator and project expeditor. So project coordinator is acting as a project manager. The project coordinator, the person who's going to get the designation called project coordinator, who is given by his own functional manager, he'll be the project manager, and he has to report the project information then and then, the day-to-day activities to the functional managers. And this project coordinator will be given a less authority to make a decision on his own. But anything which is going to be above the level of the person, so he has to go and he has to discuss with his functional managers. The role of the project expeditor, he has to support the project coordinators. The role of the project expeditor, he has to support the project coordinator. And the role of the project coordinator, he will be getting the list authority to make his own decisions since he's having the previous project experience and the knowledge he can use for his current projects. So the functional manager will give set free to come with their own decision. If any decision is going to overshoot, then he has to come to the functional manager. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Now coming to the balanced matrix. The balanced matrix is nothing but they have the combination of projectized combination and the functional combination. You can see the stripped version of the structure will be having the functional as well as the projectized. Not projectized. The functional duties, they have the balance, the balanced will have the functional type of a stripped version. These people will take the project which will be running for 8 to 1 year. 6 months, not less than 6 months, not exceeding more than 1 year. This kind of project will be taken. And what happened? The functional manager will nominate his own project manager. And the functional manager from the different department will be assigning their staff and they have to report to the project manager. So until the project is completed for 6 months or 8 months or 1 year, the functional staff should not return to the functional duties. They need to just cooperate with the project manager. But what is the rule given by the functional manager? The functional staff who's assigned to that project and reporting under the project manager, they have to report the project information to the functional managers. So the staff who's going to work in the functional, in the balanced matrix, they have a reporting called dual reporting systems. They have to report the day-to-day activities on the project to the project manager, assigned project manager, and the functional managers. Right, guys? Hello? Can I proceed?
Yes. Yeah, please.
So balanced matrix will be having the functional type of a stripped down version. The structure will be like a functional type, but these people will do a project which is not less than 6 months or not exceeding 1 year. They will be nominating a project manager who's having a real project management experience, and you'll be a dedicated project manager until the project is going to complete, and he's going to take a staff from the functional department. The functional manager will be assigning their own staff to support the project manager, but they'll be giving a condition to the staff who's coming into structure to report the day-to-day activity which is happening in the project. So the project manager, so they have to report the project manager, they have to report to the functional managers. At some case, you can see that there will be a rift between the project manager and the functional managers. I am more dedicated. I am spending a lot of time in this project. I want this particular project should be a successful outcome. I need to push this project as a successful outcome. And this has to give the future lucrative business. I'm working very hard. Why you need to report to the project activity, day-to-day activities to the functional managers? In what way is responsible? Yes, assigned to you and you're getting the salary. You should be more you should be more loyal to me. Don't try to report to the functional managers. Stop reporting to the functional managers. Now, what happened to the functional staff? What is the situation of the functional staff? It becomes so crucial, right? If they are not reporting the project day-to-day activity to the functional manager will shout. If they're going to report this one day-to-day to the functional manager, the project manager will shout, who asked you to report? I said very clearly, don't try to send any kind of reports. And functional manager will say that, okay, I just redeployed you for a temporary basis. Anyhow, you're going to come and you're going to take the functional duties. Then I'll see to you. I'll see that how you are able to incline to the hierarchy level. This is because the project is temporary in nature. So this kind of crucial situation will be happening for the functional staff. The headache will be for the staff who's going to bound to do the dual reporting systems. The strong matrix, you can have the strong matrix. One side you can see the stripped down version will be completely functional, and one side you can see the complete stripped down version will be completely projectized. So the functional people will do the functional duties, and the projectized people will be doing the very long tenure projects. They'll go for more than 1 year project. The complete dedication will be and loyalty will be there on the project. If they need any staff, they will come to the negotiation with the functional managers, and the functional manager will release the resources. And this kind of work, this kind of structure will be so costlier in nature. You have to maintain your functional managers and you have to maintain your project departments. So the organization should have the effortness to have this kind of structure. This is so costly in nature. So this is having the complete functional structure, and it's having the projectized structure. And the composite type of organization will have a blend of weak matrix, will have the combo of balanced matrix, and will be having the blend of strong matrix. Once you are mixing all this, and once you are bringing into one structure under a single organization, so that becomes a composite. You have any doubts?
So composite is blend of strong matrix and weak matrix.
Yeah, weak matrix, balanced matrix, and strong matrix. Combination of weak, balanced, and strong will be giving you the composite. Strong, you have a separate structure for strong in the same organization, and you have a separate structure for function. So these people will focus on functional duties, and these people will be focusing on project duties. Balanced, they take a project which is going to run for 1 year, and they will be nominating a dedicated project manager. They will not call the project manager as a project coordinator or expeditor. They'll be calling him as a project manager, and they're going to deploy the resources to his project. They give the support, but the condition is that the staff who's going to work with the project manager has to report the project information to the functional managers. Right? Weak matrix, you have a project to do, but it's a very simple project. So you're going to nominate your project manager, and the designation given to the project manager will be called as a coordinator, and you're giving the authority to take a decision to the coordinator, and the expeditor has to support the coordinator. If any decision is overcome, is going above the level of the coordinator, which is assigned by the project functional managers, then the project manager has to discuss with the functional managers. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
In the examination point of view, can I move forward?
Yeah.
In order to confuse
Yes.
you with a tight matrix, or weak matrix, a strong matrix, or composite matrix, they will be giving you something called a tight matrix. So what do you mean by tight matrix? What is the other name given for the tight matrix? The other name given for the tight matrix is called as a co-locations. What do you mean by co-locations? We call this one as a co-location team. So opposite to the co-location team, we will be calling this one as a virtual team. The people will be working in the remote. The people will work from the different geographical locations. The people are having a different culture, right? So time zone is having a great difference. Working hours will be having a great difference. Working days will be having a great difference. So you as a project manager, make sure that you need to manage the virtual team also. And you have to manage the co-location team also. The co-location team, until the project is completed, even though these people are working in a different worldwide, you have a different branches. Until the project is completed, you are asking the people to come in single locations. Right? In IT companies, you know very well, companies like Microsoft and Cognizant, these people will be having the worldwide operations. And that will be a very strategically important project that is going to be take a center stage in the organization. And you need an expert to work in the project. So the people will call different people from the different geographical location. Until the project is completed, everyone will be working in a single locations. Is it clear or not, guys? You can write or not?
Yeah, Bala. Yeah, yes.
And in your organization, if you're going to work in any kind of corporate organization or you're working in a very reputed company, the co-location is called as war room. The war room is a place where you can see that that facility is completely reserved for you to discuss for any important meeting. Very, very important strategic meeting. You'll call subject matter experts and important people. You'll be calling your contractors. You'll be calling your regulator authorities. You'll be calling your industry groups, technical groups, for you to have a discussion. You can see the flip charts. You can see the projectors. You can see the tables. You can see the photograph of your projects, right? That room is called as a war room. The war room is a good example for tight matrix. The war room is nothing but a work, action, a resolution room. It will be reserved throughout the projects. So only the important people can use that particular room. You can see war room. So war room is a great example for the tight matrix. Okay, you need to make sure that this is a great influencing factors. The organization is a cost-tight organization. They are not allowing you to work. They are not allowing you to go outside. Nowadays, the air ticketing, the flight tickets, the lodging, the boarding, the cabs, everything is expensive. So they are asking you to manage your project, but the project is running in a different environment. They are not allowing you to tap your feet into that geographical locations. Sit here, manage this particular project in South Africa. Sit here, manage your project in Saudi Arabia. Don't try to fly. So expensive. So that is the great influencing factors. Which team you are able to see whether the team is motivated or not motivated. Which team is very easy for you to know whether the teams are motivated or not motivated. Virtual team or co-located team. Hello?
Co-located team.
Co-located team only you can see that the teams are motivated or not motivated, right? Which team
Yes.
you can just assemble for immediate this one for a meeting. Virtual team is co-located, right? You need to call for the status review meeting. You need to call for the progress review meeting, right? So what is the main thing you need to take into consideration once you are managing the virtual team? What is the main thing you need to consider once you're going to handle a virtual team? The company is a very cost-taken company. They're not allowing you to go outside. They don't have budget. They will not make you to fly. But they need to run their business in the different geographical locations.
Time zones.
Eh?
Time zone.
Availability.
The great thing, the first prior thing for you to consider when managing the virtual team, your communications. Your communication tools, your communication methods. Right or wrong, sir? Of course, a time zone also should be considered. Because what happened, you are awake, these people will sleep. And you want to get something, but these people are sleeping. And you put your queries and you send a mail, and you'll sleep and these people are awake. So it will take a lot of time for you to get your things. And what about your communication tools? If your communication tools and methods is not supporting you to manage a virtual team, your project will be a failure or it will be a flop. sorry, it will be a success. If you don't have a good communication tool and methods for you to just manage this virtual team, what happens?
Project will fail.
Project will fail, right?
Yeah.
Right? Can you start the scratch project, which you scratched long back by having the virtual team now? Because 4 to 5 years back, you sent your project manager, and this person has given you the complete bills which you spend in that particular area. Even it was including the bar bills, the club bills, food bills, cab bills. So it's so expensive for you to manage that project virtually. Right now, you have a lot of communication tool for you to manage. You got all the online collaboration tools. You have the server to have the information, cloud-based servers. You have something called voice over internet protocols. You have various social media, social platforms. Now you can manage, right? Right or wrong, sir?
Yeah, Bala.
Okay. Can you include your physically challenged people as one of your team member to work in the virtual team? Can you able
Yes.
to? Yes, you can give, right? You can give the opportunity for the physically challenged people to work if they have the enough skills in disposing their duties. Right? So virtual team is one of the organization structure, and co-located is coming under the type matrix. Right? Then we have something called PMO. What is a PMO? Anyone? It's called as Project Management Office. And if you're going to work in the program domain, they call this one as a program management office. Since program is not the scope, out of scope, we call this one as a project management office. It's one of your organization structure, because we are seeing about the influencing factors. So according to the global market, there are many kind of PMOs, but you can globally, you can categorize, there are 3 kind of PMOs. Please note down. One will be a supportive PMO, supportive. The second one is a consultative PMO, consultative. The third one is called a directive, directive. So we have 3 kind of PMOs. One is supportive PMO, the other one is a consultative PMO, the third one is a directive PMO. So what is the role of the PMO? What is the role of your project management office? In what way they're going to facilitate your project? Guys,
Define the process and support to deliver that.
I used to give the training to many Qataris, because the Qatar government is going to focus on Vision 2030. The goal and objective of that vision is that they need to retain their heritage, but they need to land up into sustainability using the latest technology. So each and every government department is asked to have their own PMO, project management office, is a separate entity. So where these people will be acting as a consulting role to the project managers. They will be supporting the project managers by allocating the resources, by giving them a good framework, by making them to have the good training. What training is important, whether the quality training is important, agile training is important, Scrum Master training is important, what kind of project we are able to do right now. So they are able to provide the trainings. They are able to provide the best templates, industry best templates. They are able to adapt the people to go with a good framework. So what kind of framework will be helping you? Project management, body of knowledge framework, or you will be going with the Prince2 framework, or you want to go with the agile methodology framework. So they'll be giving the framework. Right? So you can see that the name itself is implying supportive PMO will be giving the very nice consulting. Very nice consulting. Whether you listen to my consultation or not, or you want to implement your things as your own. So my job is to give the good consultancy. So it's your wish to listen to this consultancy, and you can take and implement your project. Otherwise, you can go with your own consultations. So they will never control the project manager. The control of the project manager will be very less once you are falling under the supportive PMO. Now coming to the consultative PMO, these people will be giving you the nice, they ask you to follow the nice methodology. They will be giving you the nice methods. and they will ask you to go with a good framework. This kind of framework will be helping you to get your success. The control on the project management will not be less or not more, it will be a moderate control. So that is the difference. But once you are putting under the directive PMO, then your life is finished. They will not allow you to breathe. Mr. Arman, good evening, sir. Mr. Vijay Babu.
Yeah.
Arman.
Good evening.
Yes,
evening.
Bala.
Once
Yeah, good evening.
you can see your directive PMO is standing back, and you can feel his feel his breath on your neck back. Your neck can realize the breath. How you feel? Always the person is standing behind you, and you can feel his breath on your neck. You set free. You are set free to work in this kind of environment. You are so sound. You have a technical knowledge. You are so sound in your administration, and you're able to do management things, and you got your experts. You got your expert knowledge. But the guy is not allowing you to do any kind of implementation. He is not listening. Neither is not allowing you to take a decisions. So this kind of thing, you can say these people will be taking your project directly under to their custodian. They will be custodian. They're going to take your project into direct custody. So this kind of thing you can see in the directive PMO. Directive PMO, the control on the project and the project managers will be more. Supportive, there will be no control. Consultative, it will be a moderate control. Directive PMO will be controlling your project. Much control. So this will be one of the important organization structure where you have to know how we are able to operate your project under this influence. And finally, we have something called multi-divisional organization. Multi-divisional organization structure. So what do you mean by multi-divisional organization structure? The multi-divisional organization structure, I can give you a suitable example is a Walt Disney. Walt Disney. They do many business. They do the film business. They do the Cartoon Network for the children's, and they have a theme park, and they have many business to do. And each and every division will be having the common objective. That objective will be the organization objective. Everyone has to fulfill the common objective. They don't have the different kind of objectives. Department wise, they are different. So the suitable example will be Walt Disney will be falling under the multi-divisional organization structure. One of the drawbacks in this organization, if you have a different department and the focus is that each and every division is having a different focus to do, they will have their own staff. The customer support staff will be a separate staff. They will be having a multiple customer support staff. Each and every division will be having its own customer staff, the relation managers. So this is one of the organization structure. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear?
Yeah, well,
Okay. So we went through various influencing factors. We went through the culture will be one of the influencing factors. We went through the organization structure, functional type, organic type, multi-divisional, virtual type, co-located. We've gone into the matrix. We've gone into the weak matrix, strong matrix. We have the composite matrix, balanced matrix, right? We gone into the PMO, supportive PMO, controlling PMO, and we gone into the directive PMO. These are the influencing factors. So we make sure that you need to have the great influencing skills in order to overcome these influencing factors, right? Then a very important factor is that, please note on a risk attitude. We'll be finishing with this risk attitude, or we can call this one as a risk appetite. The risk appetite of a stakeholder is one of the greatest influencing factors. It is the internal factors. What do you mean by risk appetite? What do you mean by risk appetite? Just bear with me for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. We'll be finishing that. What is the risk appetite?
How much risk one can take?
Okay, so how much risk the entire organization can withstand, or a group or an individual can withstand, right? Beyond that limit, they are not able to withstand the risk. So The risk appetite will be testing the risk attitude of the stakeholder. So what do you mean by attitude? The risk we know very well, it's a uncertain conditions, or it's going to be an unconditional event, may or may not happen. If it is happening, it's going to give it the impact. It can be a positive impact or it can be a negative impact. That's a risk. So what do you mean by attitude? What do you mean by attitude? Please note on the attitude is nothing but it's a mental state of a people or a group. Right or not? Does all the stakeholders will be having the same mentality?
No.
No. So what will be the allowable variations? How much withstand risk they can withstand? If the cost is having variations, if it is exceeding more than 15%, we will not allow this kind of variation. We have this kind of this much of risk withstanding capacity. We will not allow this much of schedule variations, scope variations. Our withstand capacity is less than 10%. So the risk attitude of your stakeholder will be deciding whether to go with this project or to whether to discard this project. So risk appetite will make you to just understand a group or a people within the organization, how much the risk they can withstand. So in testing the risk attitude of individual stakeholders, right? So we'll go with the risk attitude of the stakeholders. So the risk attitude of the stakeholder will be risk averse. One stakeholder or group will be averse. Or we can call this one as adverse. So what do you mean by the risk averse or risk adverse? This is one of the attitude. You know very well that this particular project is $1 million. $1 million. And top of that, you're going to add 25% as your contingencies. So what is your project budget? It will be 1.25 million, right?
Yeah.
So, 0.25 million, we're going to spend only to manage the risk. So that much of risk this particular project is having. Why you need to take this kind of project? We are so established organization. We will not go with any kind of riskier projects. We don't want, we want a less riskier projects. Try to omit this project. We are established companies. We are not the startup companies. So that stakeholder is asking you to withdraw. They are asking you to discard this project. Don't go with this project. So much of money, 25% we are spending only for the risk. So this people attitude will be a risk averse or adverse. The second attitude of the person, in order to understand the risk appetite, the second people will be exactly opposite. They will be a risk seeker. A risk seeker or lover, or we're going to call this person as a risk gambler. They love to play the risk. They want to do only the riskier projects. They doesn't want to go with the less riskier project. This kind of mentality you can see in the startup companies, where no man has gone ever to that extent. Let me go and take risk. Let the risk pay the dividends to us. So they are a risk seeker. They love to take risk. They are a risk gambler. So this is one of the mental attitude of this person, mental state of the person. This is a risk attitude of the person who can withstand the risk. You want to take only the risky projects, right? So the third one will be a risk neutral. The third attitude will be a risk neutral. So this particular person will be like a cat sitting in the parapet wall. The cat can jump into a risk seeker side. The cat can go into the risk our side. But these people are so calculative in nature. They will use various kind of financial techniques, and they will say, if I'm going to jump in either side, which side will be paying in more. So that particular side is going to take a stance. So the seeker side is going to pay him more, or the adverse side will be paying him more, he will be taking its stance. So until that time, he's going to maintain this neutrality. So this particular attitude person will be called as a risk neutral person. Is it clear or not, guys?
Yeah.
Clear.
Because you know very well, if you are not able to know about the risk attitude of your stakeholder and understanding the risk appetite of the entire organization, you are not able to establish a control thresholds. What will be the allowable variation the organization can allow? What will not be allowed? You need to have the control thresholds, right? So you need to understand the risk attitude of the stakeholder. So the attitude of the stakeholder will be a risk neutral. The attitude of the stakeholder will be a risk seeker. The attitude of the same person will be a risk averse or adverse. The last one will be a risk tolerant. A risk tolerant guy. Nitin, you smoke?
No, sir.
Okay. Who smoke? Kosala, you smoke?
No, no.
Okay.
I
Pawan, you
drink,
smoke?
no smoke.
Who smokes? Yuraj? Varun?
No, sir.
Okay. Everyone is good. Vijay Babu? Arman, you smoke, right?
No, Bala.
No, I don't smoke.
Faisal?
Only tobacco.
Okay, only tobacco. See? Tobacco. Okay.
No.
No, I was just joking.
Okay, okay. So, for example, Arman is Faisal is smoking. And Faisal is my colleague, is sitting next to me in my cabin, same cabin. We are sharing the same cabin. He smoked too much. Whenever he's getting a call from the boss, he will be going out with a cup of coffee. He'll be taking his cigarette from the cigarette packet. He used to smoke daily 3 packs or 4 packs. He used to smoke. I'm going to give him a warning. Faisal, don't smoke too much, man. You spoil your health. Smoking kills. No, Bala, you doesn't know the stress which I'm having. So in order to relieve my pressure and stress, I need to take a fag. I need to smoke a cigarette. So that will be giving me a relaxations. And one day he was getting some heartburn or congestions. So I just asked him to go and have a look to. I asked him to diagnose with a doctor. So he went for a physician and he tested himself, and the doctor has given him a warning that too much of smoking is a very dangerous. A small congestion has started in his lungs. Try to quit your cigarettes, otherwise it will kill you very faster. So until a risk is manifesting as the issue and it's making in the risk status, he doesn't know about he doesn't worry about the risk. He's able to tolerate, but a risk once manifesting as the issue is not able to tolerate. So that particular person becomes a risk tolerant. So we have 4 risk attitude of a stakeholder that will be deciding the risk attitude. Without knowing the risk appetite of your person, you are not able to establish a control threshold for your projects. So the risk attitude will be a risk neutral, a risk tolerant, a risk seeker, and risk adverse. Together, we are able to know about the complete risk appetite. So how much the risk, the entire organization or the group or the people can withstand the risk, how much variation they can allow, how much variation they are not able to allow it. So this are all various enterprise environmental factors. So make sure that if you're going to run your process, you need to consider all these enterprise environmental factors. And one more thing, I need to give you your information. Enterprise environmental factor, it will give you 50% success. It will give you 50% failure. So you can't avoid the enterprise environmental factors. This is all the various internal factors. Once it is coming to the external factors, we need to know the regulatory factors will be one of the great influencing factors. Whether you love it or you're not able to like it, you have to accept the government regulations. So you need to compile your project with the government compliance. If you're not able to comply your project with the government regulatory affairs, then you know very well what is the thing you're going to face. So that will be the external factors. You know very well the temperature, the weather conditions, current weather condition will not make you to complete your project on time. You know very well you need to close your work by 10 o'clock and you have to make your workers to work after 4 o'clock. Why? Why?
Because of high temperature.
Temperatures. So that will delay your projects. That is the great influencing factors that will make you to delay. So you are able to delay your project. You need to complete the client is not giving you the extension of time. EOT is not permitted. Every time it's rejecting the EOT. You are justifying to give the EOT. The client is not listening to you. Your environmental factors. The government authority is asking you to just close your work by 10 o'clock and open your work by 4 o'clock. But you need to complete your project. You need to hand over your project. Otherwise, you need to just face an FT fine. Right? What makes you to wear your sweaters, jackets, your gloves, hand gloves during the time of December, January, and February? Why you are not
temperature?
Climatic conditions, right? So that is an external factors. Nitin, you are working in Abu Dhabi for last 4 to 5 years, right? Or 6 years?
Yeah, 13 years.
13 years. How was the market in 2007, 2008, 2009? 90% of the construction equipment, you can see that is stationed in the Sheikh Zayed Road, right? Right or not, Nitin?
Yeah, yeah.
So the market was a bull market. You are able to place your condition, you are able to keep your product you are able to well place in your market conditions. The marketplace condition can be a bull market or it can be a bear market. Right now, the market is a bear market, right? So the marketplace condition is going to be one of the influencing factors, whether that particular product will sell immediately or it will take some time to sell. You are able to sell or not able to sell. So the market can go as a bear market or can go over a bull market. You can see in the exchange, the bull is going to look up and bear is going to look down. That means if the bear is going to look down, that's the market is going to be down. The bull is going to see up, the market is up. Right or wrong, guys? Right? So I'm going to stop. I'm going to record. I'm going to send along with the next Zoom link. So try to download this video within the 3 to 5 days. Happy weekend and see you on Monday. Monday, 7 o'clock. Anything to be shared?
Thank you very much, Mr. Bala.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bala.
Thank you. Good
Mr.
night.
Bala,
Good night.
that this question,
Yeah. Yes, sir.
as I join from today onwards, that previous lessons
Yeah,
and
I'll send a separate.
documents,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Thank
No
you very
problem.
much.
Thank you. Good night. See you
Good
on
night to
Monday, guys.
everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.